Jai Mohanji, everybody. Welcome. My name is Pooja, and I'm one of the volunteers with Mohanji Foundation. Today, I have the privilege of welcoming my friend, Aditya Nagpal from India, who is also a volunteer of Mohanji Foundation. And we are going to be talking about Mohanji and his Leelas with all of you. Especially with Aditya, I have opportunity to speak with Aditya quite often, and we are always exchanging his experiences with Mohanji. So I asked him to do a live session with me so that we can share his experiences with all of you. So welcome, Aditya.
Hi, thank you, Pooja. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
So Aditya, we're going to start off with our conversation, and I wanted to start off with the first question I had in mind is how did you meet Mohanji?
Okay, so that was long back in 2013.
Yeah.
I was very young at that time. I was 25 years old, and I was looking for a job. And I had completed my engineering from my hometown Jammu, and I went to Bangalore for job search. The time was like that I was not getting a job. It was very difficult for me, and I got into company of people who were doing some wrong things, and I also got into all that. And I'm from a very religious background, and all those things never suited me, but I was kind of doing them by force. So all that kind of put me into a complete mode of frustration and even depression, you can say. So then I remember that in my childhood that my mother used to teach me meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So I started means I wanted to join some group, in Bangalore because I was so frustrated that I wanted to join something where I can learn meditation, even if I had to pay something for that.
Mm.
So I started looking online, and the first website I bumped into was mohanji.org, and I found that this meditation is conducted free of cost in Bangalore.
Mm.
And Dana was conducting at that time. Dana is Mohanji's sister-in-law.
Oh, yes, yes.
So I joined that group, and after a couple of sessions only, I got the Shaktipat from Dana, and I started feeling the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So things started changing, and few things started settling within. So I continued with that, and that was in the middle of 2013.
Mm.
And towards the end, then Dana went to Chennai, and Preeti Dugal started.
Mm.
I think everyone knows Preeti Dugal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So she started, and I went there to her place. And towards the end of the year, I think in December, Mohanji came to Preeti Dugal's place, and that is when I met him for the first time.
Mm.
Actually, he came on the weekend, and first day I didn't go there. I was sick. I was having cough and cold, and I thought if I go, I'll disturb everyone with my
Yeah,
sneezing, and and everyone would be meditating, and so I'll disturb them. I didn't go, but Preeti Duggal called me and told me like, why didn't you come? With his blessings, you'll be fine. You should come.
yeah.
So next day I went, and I attended the satsang, and there was something different that day. Something that I had never felt before.
Mm.
So I was not into spirituality and all this
Yeah,
thing, with guru and all. This was not my thing at all.
yeah.
So, I was not familiar with all the spiritual terms also that also people were using over there. So after the meditation, but there was some difference when I saw him for the first time. So after that satsang happened and people were asking questions, and I was not very well versed with English also at that time.
Yeah.
So I have to be honest that I didn't understand even a single word in the satsang. So
Wow.
it was all blank for me. He was speaking, and people were asking questions. I didn't understand anything, and those spiritual terms were like over the top for me.
Wow.
So yeah. So, but one thing I remember from that satsang is he looked into my eyes for a brief moment, for a brief period of time. Like, there was an eye connection.
Yeah.
And when I look back now, there's no initiation in our path. But when I look back, I realized that that was the initiation I got.
Yeah.
That is where it all started. That is where the transformation, that seed was put inside,
Yeah.
with that eye contact.
Yeah.
So then after the satsang, we all got Shaktipat. At that time, it was very easy to meet Mohanji,
Yeah.
and he was available and accessible to
Yeah.
everyone. So I had the luck, privilege to spend a lot of time with him. So after that first satsang, we all got Shaktipat, and I wanted to ask a lot of questions to him because I had so many personal things happening with me. So, but I didn't get a chance because I didn't know how to speak English, and people were speaking English, and I could not speak anything.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
went near him after the Shaktipat. I told him that I want to meet you personally. I want to ask. So he called me to his room.
yeah.
And in the room also, I had thought that I would tell him so many things, but I went blank. I could not say a single word.
It is very common that that
Yeah,
happens.
it's
Yes.
very common. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I was completely blank. I said, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea. So, but then he knew he's omniscient, right? So he knows everything,
yeah.
and he told me what to do. He knew that at that time my mind was so cluttered that I could not meditate. So he told me to do seva. He told me to join Bangalore group and be with them and participate in seva and meet me again after 1 year and tell me how it feels.
Mm,
I followed that. I followed that, and I won't say that I got connected to him immediately after
yeah,
first meeting, but there was a difference. I felt that difference, and I
yeah,
started liking him that way.
yeah,
So I accepted him as my guru, but still I had these doubts in my mind that okay, why are people worshipping him?
yeah,
Why are
yeah,
people doing his aarti? That
yeah.
was my biggest thing.
Hmm.
Why are people doing his aarti? So is he God?
Yeah,
Really? But
yeah,
he can be a guru. He will be my guru. I'll follow him like that.
yeah,
But I don't have to worship him. So that
yeah,
was my thing. So I was following. I started following him, and luckily he was accessible at that time, and I could meet him a lot. So
yeah.
I used to go to other places also, with Bangalore group with him, Mohanji, and we used to go for Ramadan and other activities. He was always
Mm,
there.
yeah.
That connection was built like that, but that connection of consciousness at that time also people used to tell me that you should connect to his consciousness, and
But
I
we
had
didn't.
no idea
You have
I
no
had no
idea.
idea what consciousness,
Yeah,
what
I know.
consciousness. So whenever somebody said consciousness, looked at sky, where is that? How do I connect?
Yeah,
So this is how. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, no, not to interrupt, but I remember it's very interesting how I relate with what you're saying because when I met Mohanji for the first time, even I said, I'm not going to do his aarti. I wouldn't. I couldn't connect. Even I couldn't connect to it. I'm like, I'm not going to do his aarti. Why should I do his aarti? But I understand. So I understood where you're coming from. Okay, so just moving forward a little bit. Uh, I know that you applied to become an acharya. And then you got approved to be an acharya, but you didn't actually do the training of acharya, and instead you were given the title of a country head for India. So you're currently a country head of India. So how did all of that happen? Like what happened?
So many things happened. The thing that I told you first happened in 2013 and 14.
Hmm,
So the first experience that I had with Mohanji was getting a job after meeting him.
yeah.
So, what I realized after meeting him, after I got energy transfers from him multiple times, that I only had blocked my, this job thing because I had so much negativity and pessimism inside me that I had decided that I'm not going to get anything.
Hmm,
I'm not good enough.
hmm,
So what Mohanji did was Mohanji removed that negativity and things started flowing. And I got a job, I think, within 3 months after I met him.
hmm,
And I moved to Hyderabad. And in Hyderabad, he told me to start the activities.
hmm,
And I started. So I remember that when I conducted the first meditation, nobody turned up. I did it alone. But I did it. I somehow got that confidence. I didn't have any confidence before, but Mohanji gave me that confidence that you can do it. So I started activities and I saw that I started Seva activities also.
hmm.
And many people started connecting to Seva
Yeah.
activities, Amukh
Hmm,
activities. So, and that I got a good response. So I got into activities, doing that. So whatever Mohanji used to say, he would ask me to conduct conscious walking. Also, he taught me conscious walking.
hmm,
So he would ask me to conduct it. I would conduct it. So
hmm.
whatever he said, I would do it. But there was, like I said, there was a barrier of form, right? So I didn't accept him fully as the only God or Guru I would worship.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I got connected to Sai Baba, and that also was through Mohanji. So before that, I knew that there's a saint Sai Baba, but I just knew that there's Sai Baba. I never connected to him
Hmm,
because I'm from North India and he was not that famous in North India at that time.
hmm,
So it's not a coincidence that my first temple, Sai Baba temple visit was with Mohanji in Bangalore. We
hmm,
went for an Annadan there. And that is when I started gaining interest in Sai Baba. Okay, I wanted to visit Shirdi and I wanted to know more about Sai Baba. So I started reading Sai Satcharita. First, people used to tell me what is, that you read Sai Satcharita. I didn't know what that was. I got any Sai Baba book and I started reading that. I thought that was Satcharita. So, but there was some connection happening. So then I went to Shirdi and I got such amazing experiences in Shirdi that I
Yeah.
started visiting there frequently.
Yeah.
And that was actually the first time when I was starting feeling that spiritual power,
Mm.
that transformation, some transformation, that happens within. So that started with Shirdi.
Mm.
And then there was a phase that I considered Sai Baba as my God and Mohanji as my Guru.
Mm.
So there was a clear difference in my mind that Sai Baba is my God and Mohanji is my Guru. So I love Mohanji. I would follow him. I would do whatever he says, but I would worship Sai Baba.
Mm.
So that stayed for some time, for a few years. So, but one thing I noticed that, after every visit to Shirdi, so whenever I came back, there was something that was pushing me towards Mohanji completely. So it was like Sai Baba telling me that,
Yeah.
okay, I am done with you now. He is a master of life. Okay,
Yeah.
you go to him completely now, but I
Yeah.
didn't understand that for
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah.
Okay, I still had this doubt in my mind, and Mohanji is my guru. I love him. I'll follow him, but I'll worship you. You
Mm.
are my God.
Mm.
Okay, so then one incident happened in 2018, I think, in October. I accidentally met Mohanji in Shirdi. It wasn't an accident. For me, it was an accident, but for him, it was all planned.
Yeah.
And yeah, but after that, he asked me one question at that time. So, what did Baba tell you? And spontaneously, I answered that Baba told me to meet you. That's it, nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only conversation. But after that trip, when I went back again, I started getting this feeling that now it's Mohanji only for me. I'm done with everything else. I should be connecting only to Mohanji.
Yeah.
But again, that mind came into play, and again, that duality happened
Yeah.
between Baba and Mohan.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, like you said, that country had thing. So in 2019, that Acharya thing happened, right?
Mm.
In Serbia. I think you were also part of that
Yeah.
group. So yes, I was approved, and at that time, my connection with Mohanji was intensifying gradually.
Yeah.
And I remember in one of the meetings, he told me that he brought up a story that an old man was dying, and he wanted to take my darshan. He was so desperate for my darshan that he didn't want to die without my darshan. So I astrally gave him my darshan, and then he died. And then he ended the story like it was a very apt message for me at that time that you should intensify your connection gradually with me. Keep intensifying it. And the message was clear that keep intensifying your connection with me until you
Mhm.
completely merge into me.
Mhm.
That was the message. So that was also in 2019. After that, I got approved for Acharya training.
Mm.
But then what happened was I had some passport issues,
Mm.
and my passport was not in a very good condition. It was blurred, and I applied for a new one. It didn't come on time. It came one day after the Acharya training start.
Okay.
I missed it by one day.
Yeah.
So I could not go. And I was totally disappointed. I was, like I said, that my connection with Mohanji was intensifying and I wanted to do more seva. And that was my intention. I wanted to do more seva. I wanted to be connected to Mohanji platform. So I thought I missed the opportunity. And now what will I do? Mohanji, I was disappointed at that
Yeah.
time. But then again, I came to terms with it. But, I was dejected very much.
Yeah.
So, but within 1 month after that, what happened was I got a call from Madhu that would you like to be country head of India? I said, me, how can I be? Because I had low self-confidence always.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was, only intelligent people are with Mohanji. People like me cannot be with Mohanji.
Mm.
So I used to consider myself unintelligent and not worthy of anything. So he said, and but then immediately this thought struck me that it should be, if it is coming from Madhu, it is coming from Mohanji.
Yeah.
So within 20 seconds, I said yes. That thought came, that doubt came, but then Mohanji took over, and within 20 seconds, I said yes. Then there was a delay. Then what happened? Again, I had now there's a miraculous experience in Shirdi where I realized that Mohanji and Sai Baba are actually one.
Yeah.
It was actually practically shown to me.
Mm,
And after which I totally dedicated myself to Mohanji, and I found my Baba in Mohanji.
mm.
So if you want, I'll tell you that
Yeah, yeah.
experience.
I was going to say it. Say the experience. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Okay. So it was in 2019. And I had a plan. I used to visit Shirdi very frequently. So at that time also I had this plan. And in December in 2019, I was visiting Shirdi. So I had booked a room very close to Baba Samadhi temple. So usually I book there because I like staying in very close proximity of Baba's Samadhi. So, but then that day, next day I was going to leave, and that day another Mohanji Foundation volunteer, Kirti, she called me and she said that I'm also coming. You get a room for me. And she was coming with somebody else, Padmaja. Padmaja is also a Mohanji
Yeah.
Foundation volunteer. So they both were coming. Padmaja was coming from Korea. So I thought that they're coming. She's coming from very far. So let me give her my room, and I'll look for another room. I mean, because I'm very, frequently visiting Shady all the time, so I have many contacts, so I can get a room easily.
Mm.
And I gave them my room, and after that, I started looking for another room online near to Baba Samadhi. I didn't find any. And then, at that time, we had good connection with Jivanta Hotel, if you know,
Yeah.
in Jivanta Hotel, and they used to give discount to Mohanji Foundation people at that time. So I called them, and they told me that we don't have a standard room, we don't have a gold room, we don't have a deluxe room, we have only diamond room. So if you want, we'll give you. So I was like, okay, leave it. That is the most expensive thing I
Yeah.
can get. I'm not going there. So I canceled that. And then again, I started searching
Yeah.
for a room. I didn't find any. And that was strange for me because usually I would get a room easily in Shady, but
Mm.
that day I was not getting any room. So then, after a long wait, I again called Jivanta. I told them that if you give me at a good discount, I'll come. Otherwise, I'll spend my night in Dwarka. So they gave me a good discount because they knew me very well
Yeah.
and there was no problem. So next day I went there. I reached there in the morning. I checked in and there was Ahimsa Vegan Cafe at that time in Jivanta. So I used to spend a lot of time there. And when I went there, I found from him that Mohanji is coming there on the same day and he is coming to the same hotel. And I was like, okay, so that's why I could not book anywhere else.
Yeah.
So this was all planned. Yeah. So then what I was overwhelmed, that Mohanji is coming to the same hotel. I didn't know that Mohanji would be coming on the same day. And so I was very happy. And then after I went for darshan, and after that I went to check on these two girls in their hotel. And that hotel owner told me that I forgot their booking, and by mistake, I gave that booking to somebody else. I was shocked at that, and I was a bit worried about these two girls. And, so I kept looking for them here and there nearby. They were not there. Then, after some time, I went back to my room and I found them in my room. Okay, so what
How did they
happened?
reach your room?
No, they knew that I was in Jivanta, so they
Okay.
inquired and got to
Yeah.
my room. They also know him, right? So, him told me. So they also ended up in my room. So what happened? My cost was shared.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't expensive for me anymore. So then Mohanji arrived in the evening, and like always, we were overjoyed by having his darshan, and we prostrated. And then our room was on second floor. Somebody had told us that Mohanji's room would be on fourth floor.
Yeah.
So after, like always, Mohanji disappeared in no time. He went to the lift, and Kamath went behind him and took his luggage, and they disappeared. And we also went behind them. We thought he's on fourth floor. We went there. We could not find him. Then we came to third floor. We could not find him. Then we said, okay, let's find him later. We'll get to him. So let's go back to our room. And when we were near to our room, we found that Mohanji's room was right next to our room,
Oh my God. Wow.
right next to our room. And because there were sleepers outside, we went in and he was very happy to see us. Oh, you are here. So he acted like that. He didn't know that our
Yeah.
room was right next to that.
Absolutely.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
So then he asked me, where are you staying? I said, right next, this room is ours. Oh, really? This was his reaction. Oh,
Yeah.
really? I had no idea.
Of course. Of course. He
Then
does this.
after some time, he said, that he wanted us to leave, and he told that you go and wait in Nagpal's room. Nobody had told him that that was my room. I had booked that room, so nobody had told him. But he said, Go to Nagpal's room." After a few days, he visited Hyderabad, and I told him this experience, and then he said that he finally said that I always do my job. So that was all planned. So that day, what happened was usually in Shirdi, I would spend my night in Dwarka Mein, but that day I didn't have that feeling to go to Dwarka. I was very close to Mohanji in the next room and I wanted to stay there. Others went for tea, coffee, and snacks and everything, but I stayed there alone because I wanted to be there only. I
Mm.
had no feeling of going to Dwarka. And the next day also, usually in Shirdi, daily I would go for darshan. I would have that urge. But that day I was with Mohanji only. I had no urge to go anywhere else. I had no urge to go for a darshan.
Yeah.
So it was like I was with Baba. And then, usually I had to leave in the evening. So usually while leaving, before leaving, I would take leave from Baba. So I would take his blessings and tell him to call me again. And that day I forgot to take leave from Baba and I took leave from Mohanji and I left and I didn't feel anything. So after going back, I looked back at this incident and then I realized fully that Baba had been kicking me, actually literally kicking me towards Mohanji.
Yeah.
So this is when I realized that Mohanji is my guru for this life. I need to stop looking anywhere else
Yeah.
and dedicate myself completely to Mohanji. So that is when it started. And I was announced the country head at the same time. So when
Wow.
I completely dedicated myself to Mohanji,
Yeah.
that day in Shirdi, I was announced the country head of Mohanji Foundation.
Yeah. You know,
So
sorry, I have to say this because it's in my mind. There are a lot of people who are connecting to Mohanji and who are Sai Baba devotees, because I think it is said somewhere that a lot of Sai Baba devotees are going to in the future are going to connect to Mohanji. I think just this entire experience is going to help answer a lot of questions of people who are in the same boat as you were, like you and I, even because I connected with Sai Baba. My journey started with Sai Baba, and I was like, oh my God, Sai Baba Mohanji, Sai Baba Mohanji. That duality was happening with me as well. But just this experience is going to help so many people in the future, because all of them who are doubting, who are thinking whether they should connect to Mohanji, or if Mohanji and Sai Baba are separate, it's going to all of them are going to be answered with this experience. So thank you, Aditya, for sharing this. It's so amazing. Sorry, I want to come back to some of your very recent experiences which you have been telling me, and I really want they're so amazing. I want everybody to know about those experiences. Your time with Mohanji at the Bangalore ashram. I wanted to. I know there's so much to talk about, but I really wanted you to especially share the experience where the person was standing on your body and you were in a lot of body pain. So I don't know if I've skipped few things for you that you wanted to share, but let's come to this and then maybe we'll go back and talk a little bit. But I don't want to forget this experience because it's so amazing.
yeah, that was that was very recent. I
Yeah.
have been fortunate enough to spend a long time with Mohanji at Mohanji's place, and I have traveled also a lot with him. So and this was very recent. Last time when I was there, that was this year, sorry, last year, 2022. So, one Kalari master from Kerala. Kalari is a treatment that comes from Kerala. It has its roots
Yeah.
in Kerala. So that master, because Mohanji was having some lung problem, so that master, that guru of that Kalari, came for Mohanji only to Bangalore. And I was also there in the ashram at that time. And Mohanji was getting the treatment daily. And Christopher, Mohanji's PA, he also joined the treatment. So then I also was told to join for a few days. And I didn't know what it was. People were telling me that it's a torture, and I was like, I'm very fit and all that. No, nobody can touch me like that. I'm fit. So what can he do? He'll just do my massage and give me some exercises. I do exercises all the time. So that's not a problem. When I went there first day and I did that exercise, that was some other level of exercise, that some other level of fitness was required for that. I was like, I was like, okay, there's something else. And then the time I was already tired with that exercise. Within half an hour, I was tired. And then after that, massage. And that massage was literally a torture. That guy, uh, I mean, I should not call him guy because he's a guru and I respect him a lot now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was literally standing on me, jumping on me, with beating me with his foot, and standing on my neck, standing on my legs. And then he was pressing me to an extent where I would not break my bone. Until then, he was pressing me. And he knew exactly when the
Yeah.
bone would break.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that expert. He has that expertise.
Yeah.
So, but then massage was such a torture that I was like, oh my God, this is something else. But since Mohanji had put me there, so now my commitment towards Mohanji is so much that whatever he says blindly, I would do. I would not
Yeah.
ask any questions. So he told
Yeah.
me to do this, I would do this, even if I have to go through a torture. So I did this, and first day, second day, it became worse because Mohanji told him to go harder on me,
Oh my
and
God.
he went harder on me. And the third day again, Mohanji told him to go even harder on me. Because Mohanji was also going for the sessions, right? And he was telling him that go harder on this guy, break his tamas. He is very tamasic, so you need to break his tamas. And he was going harder on me.
And
So
you were
first,
screaming also in pain, right?
I was screaming, and I didn't have a choice. I was like screaming Mohanji's name, when I was in pain. And Mohanji, please do some, please save me. But I could not run away because it was Mohanji's order, so
Yeah, you
I
had
had
to do
to,
it. Yeah.
I could bear any pain. So and then first 3 4 days were like I was not even able to walk in the ashram. And then Mohanji in front of people, he would look at me and laugh. See this guy not able to walk. And but then from the fifth day onwards, fifth and sixth day onwards, it started improving. I could take the massage. I was still in pain, but still I could take it better.
Yeah.
So then seventh and eighth day onwards, I started enjoying the massage. And I did that treatment for 12 days. And I realized after the treatment that a lot of things in my body were fixed. I used to think of myself as a very fit person, but there
Mm.
were so many problems that I didn't even know about.
Mm.
And all that were fixed, all that was gone.
Mm.
And I used to have, because I'm a software engineer also, and I need to sit for long periods. So I sometimes would get back pain because of that. But all that was gone, disappeared
Mm.
completely off from my system. So that was what I got from that treatment. It was amazing. And I'm very grateful to Mohanji that he made me go through that. And then Mohanji told Christopher that, through this treatment, I'm not making you only physically fit, but I am kind of burning your karma also that you've done in your past life, in which you have physically tortured others.
Yeah.
So, and that message came through Christopher. So,
Amazing.
whatever Mohanji does, there's a reason
Yeah,
behind it.
there is
So
a reason.
that's why
Absolutely.
I never say no to him.
Yeah.
So I do it blindly. If he tells me to jump from a
Yeah.
cliff, I would do that
Yeah.
blindly. So that was the experience, and I became fitter. I became stronger, not only physically, mentally also.
Yeah. Wow.
And now they have opened that, that color treatment thing in Bangalore. And they
Oh,
have
they
an
have?
institute. Yeah,
Is
recently
it,
opened.
can women do it as well?
Yes, they can. And they have women trainers also. Women
Yeah.
can also do it.
Oh, very
So
nice.
that was the experience. It was amazing.
That's
At
really
the end,
amazing.
initially it was a torture. So that is how Mohanji works. It looks like a torture, but he's
Yeah.
actually taking care of
Yeah.
you, right? He's doing a
Yeah.
lot of things that we don't even know.
But you see, that karma would have come out in such a horrible way for you because
Exactly.
torturing people is
Not
so,
only that,
and in such a short time, in such
he's
a,
done so.
yeah, he just took everything away in such a short time. That's
He
amazing.
does
And
that all the time.
yeah, he does that all the time, I know. And that is why I wanted you to share this because I absolutely loved it when you had mentioned it. The other thing which stayed with me when you and I had this conversation, this was a while back. And at that point, I was really down. I was very, very down, and I was speaking with you at that point. And I was down about something to do with Mohanji that I don't get to spend time with him or something like that. I was very upset about it. And at that point you had said something to me which stayed with me. And I wanted you to share this as well. You had said to me, Pooja, that my biggest because you're a country head, you get to spend a lot of time with Mohanji because and I know you do. You get, and we've spoken about this through the years, you've spent a lot of time. And I told you, oh, Aditya, you're so lucky. You get to spend so much time with Mohanji. And at that time, you said to me, Pooja, my transformation, the year of my most transformation was when I was away from him. and not when I was with him. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you remember the year that this happened. But
I
I wanted you to share this because I think this will also answer questions for a lot of people who do not get to spend physical time with Mohanji. So if you want to share, and I want you to share this experience, all the experience that you had, so that it satisfies people who don't get to spend that as much time with Mohanji as others do. So please share.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I would like to say that, it's not important how much time you spend with
Yeah.
Mohanji. I'll share one another experience of another person, which was written somewhere. So I read it, and you know, there was a Marathi guy, and it was way back in 2014 when
Yeah.
Mohanji did his first satsang in Mumbai. So this Marathi guy, somebody had told him that, the thing that you're looking for is with Mohanji. Okay, so you go to his satsang, it's happening in Mumbai, you attend that and you ask him the thing that you're looking for. He was a very normal, usually Marathi people would speak Hindi,
Mm.
but he could not even speak Hindi properly. So he was like that from a very humble background, and he didn't know anything. So our people were kind of, because they were used to high-end people only, so they didn't take him seriously. So they made him sit at the back in the satsang, and he was there. So, like always, towards the end, people come in the queue and meet Mohanji, right? So he also came, and he started speaking in Marathi, okay, with Mohanji. And Mohanji also responded in Marathi.
And he
So
doesn't
Mohanji
speak
gave him
Marathi. Yeah.
Mohanji gave him one technique. We don't know how he spoke Marathi, but he did. Mohanji gave him one technique. And after 6 years,
Six
another
years.
experience, after
Six.
6 years, 6 years,
Yeah.
5 or 6 years, I don't remember the exact time, another experience came from the same person that with the technique given by Mohanji, I have almost attained the state of Samadhi, almost.
Wow.
And that was just one meeting with Mohanji.
Yeah.
And that was just 5 minutes with Mohanji. So it's not like that, spending time with Mohanji only will give you something. It's your connection with Mohanji. You see, when you are close to Mohanji, you are close to fire, right? It's not easy to be with him. Means
Yeah.
if you're physically with him, then you are obviously in the fire and you have to face the fire all the time. Like
Yeah.
all the time, he's breaking your expectations, he's
Yeah.
breaking your frame, breaking your ego, he's breaking everything actually.
Yeah.
So you have to face that. But if you are very strongly connected to him, he'll do it from anywhere.
Yeah.
He has so many means to do that. He'll do it through other people. He'll do it himself. He'll get you into situations where you don't have a choice but to apply his teachings
Yeah.
and live his
Absolutely.
teachings. So he'll do it from anywhere. So it doesn't matter how much time you get to spend. And he also says that, in our path, you don't ask for things, you just be,
Yeah.
and things will be delivered to you, okay, at the right time when you need them, as per your requirement, as per your orientation, as per your constitution, you'll get them. So don't look at others or don't look at people who get to spend more time with him. It doesn't mean that they get more than
Yeah. Actually, it
not.
doesn't.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like that.
It's not true.
It
It's
cannot
not
be like
true. Yeah, it's not
exactly
true. I agree
because
with this. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely 100% Aditya, because I remember uh like I've experienced it as well, and I understand, but I wanted to I want, and I know this experience of this Marathi person, and I remember this specifically because he had approached Mohanji and says, I cannot pay you money for all these retreats and everything. I don't have the capacity to be with you physically. So he had given I know what technique he had given this guy, and because experience I had read it, and it's amazing. I didn't know about the follow up after 5 to 6 years what happened, but it is amazing. So so thank you for sharing that. But I also want to come back to your some of your experiences that you had while you didn't get to spend time with Mohanji, but you felt that you evolved so much being away from him,
yes, that
physically
was
away
during
from
the COVID. Yeah, physically away from him. That was during COVID when I didn't meet him for a long time.
him.
Usually that never happened since I started following him.
Mm, mm,
Every year, every 3, 4 months, sometimes, I mean, I would get a chance to meet him because initially he was very accessible. So whenever he went to Bangalore, I would go there and go to places with him. And after that, also, I was regularly meeting him. But that COVID phase, because everything was locked, I was locked in my hometown and I could not meet him for a long time. But that was the time, when you remember Moji recorded that video of determination and
yeah.
discipline, right? That impacted me so much that during the COVID, I was kind of initially I was losing it, I was losing everything. Like my schedule was all over the place, and I was not able to focus, and I was worried. I had this insecurity also that what will happen with my job and all. So, but that video changed me completely, and I brought discipline into my life during that time, and I started connecting very deeply with Mohanji. And that is a time when my connection with Mohanji became very strong. So I could feel that, I could feel the difference, and I didn't meet him for a long time during that phase, but I felt that connection, and that was transformative. So even though I was not able to meet him,
Mm,
uh, I was getting that transformation that I always looked for.
mm.
So yeah, it happens, that's what I told, that he has so many ways to work on you.
Yeah,
That everyone cannot be physically with him, right?
yeah.
So
No, absolutely.
wherever you are, he'll have means to work on you,
Yeah,
provided you keep your connection strong.
yeah,
So that is the only thing. You may go through phases in life, you may go through ups and downs, and you may have,
yeah,
moments of confusion and the lack of clarity, and you may get all those things from the mind. But only thing that you can hold on to is the connection, and that you should not lose at any cost. The rest he will take care, that is for sure. And in the same context, I'll tell you one more experience that happened in Mohanji Ashram
yeah.
when I went there for the first time. That was also during COVID, so I spent a long time there. And I told you that my connection with him was very strong when I was away from him,
Yeah.
and the opposite happened. When I went to the ashram, my connection totally dropped, and I was not even. I mean, so it was like I was just staying in the ashram. I had no clarity. I had no idea why I was staying there. I was helping with the ashram work, and that's it. I was not doing anything else. And then I was connected to my office and doing office work from there. And one day during breakfast, Mohanji calls me, and he asks me, "So, what is your purpose of staying here for a long time?" I had no answer. I was blank. And I was like, I just want to spend time with you. That's it. So then he said, if you don't have clarity why you're staying here, just leave. On face, he told me, leave from here. So I got scared. And that was the first time I saw him like that. After that, I got many scoldings, but that was the first time that he just told me on face, you just leave from here. You don't have, you have no idea why you're here. So I got scared, and then he left for his room after breakfast. And then I wrote him a long love letter on WhatsApp that thank you, Father, thank you so much, thank you, Mohanji, for letting me stay here. I stayed here for so long, and I feel oriented, and all the nonsense I wrote in the letter. So then, after 5 minutes, he called me to his room, and he made me sit there, and he literally scolded me for 15-20 minutes straight. He told me that, that you have been following me for so long. You are here, you are in the ashram. This physical proximity is not easy to get. People are waiting in queues to get it, and you got it. And what are you gaining out of it? You have found your comfort zone in the ashram also. Okay, you are living in your comfort zone, and you are scared of me. You know what I used to do there in ashram? So I would run away from Mohanji, despite being so close to him. So if he comes to one room, I would be in another room. I would run away. So because he was breaking my comfort zone, I could not face it. I could
Yeah,
not
yeah,
handle it.
yeah, yeah,
So that is what he told me on face. I know that you are scared of me. I know you are running away from me. And now it's the time to burn. Face me and burn. That is what you are here for. You face me and burn. I will burn you. These are his words. I will burn you. I will tear you apart. So he told me this on face, and I was literally shivering. I was not used to this. So, and he then a lot of things he said that, now it's time that you face me and burn. And don't run away. Don't run to your comfort zones. So I had decided to leave that night because I thought that he was asking me to leave. I told him in the message that I'm leaving tonight, and then he calls me and he tells me that you are running away again. I asked you one simple question. I asked for clarity, and you don't have it, and you are running away again to your comfort zone. So and then he said at the end, he said that I give you 5 days. You tell me, contemplate, and tell me why you are here, and what are you gaining by living, by staying here.
mm,
If you don't tell me, I'll scold you again. So that was the last words. And then those 5 days, were like, they were difficult for me. I ate food only once in 5 days. And so many things, internal things were erupting, and so many, store things, all my comfort zones and everything that I was holding on to was breaking. And during those 5 days, I was trying to be physically close to Mohanji, even if I didn't want to, because my mind was telling me, no, go away.
Mm,
So go to your comfort zone. But I was, forcing myself to be close to Mohanji. So until he would tell me to go away,
mm.
sometimes he had to tell me to go. So otherwise, until then, I would not go. I would stay. But I saw a lot of things breaking inside me. So many emotions, so many stored things were coming out. And but I was getting this clarity of why I was following, why I was there, why I was following Mohanji. So then after 5 days, this I sat with him and he asked me that, okay, what have you gained? So I told him that, my only purpose of following you or being with you is to merge into your consciousness. There's no other purpose. All the seva that I do, everything that I do. Before that, I was answering like, okay, for India, I am here, to know more about India, what to do in India, I'm here. So, but that is all fine. But that is not the main purpose. We all are doing that to achieve only one goal, and that is to merge into Mohanji's to achieve his state. So that is the clarity that I got, and I told him that. And then he said that, okay, now you got this answer. So it's up to you. If you want to stay here, you stay here for as long as you want to, or you can leave. And after 2 days, I left. And that is the first time when I actually got complete clarity of why I was following Mohanji and what I was trying to achieve,
Mm.
by staying with him or even by following him from anywhere. So that was a wonderful transformative experience for me.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I think it's also very funny. So I like it.
No, there's
Uh,
so many funny things happened there
you
with
tell
me,
me, tell me,
because
tell me the funny things. Tell me the funny things.
not funny. They are funny for others, not for me. When I'm getting the heat, it's not funny at all. So there have been so many, I can't remember. So one day, during this recent my stay in Bangalore ashram, so there was this Hindi satsang with Mohanji. Hindi satsang with Mohanji, and there was a minor glitch during the satsang, and Mohanji's voice was not audible. So I was there as a country head. I was there, so called. So uh, I planned means I thought of interrupting and telling everyone that Mohanji will be back in some time. And I was about to do it, and Kamath stopped me. Kamath said, "No, no, you don't do that. You just write on the chat."
Mm.
So I did that. I thought, okay, this guy is saying, so let me do that. So I wrote on the chat. And after the satsang, Mohanji came down and blasted me literally. That why didn't you say that? I was about to. He said, "Why didn't you say that? That I was having technical glitch and I would be back. What kind of country hat are you? You don't know where to speak what." And I stopped because of Kamath. I was like, okay, father. So, and I remember one day he was acting like me, because I stand like with my shoulders like this, and he was showing it to me. Yeah, why are you standing like this? So he was scolding me for something, and then he was acting like me. Why are you standing like this? There have been so many incidents, where he would just, and I know that whenever he does that, some things he changes from inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Changes because that's why when he doesn't scold me, there was a time when he started ignoring me. I said, Father, please don't ignore me. You scold me as much as you want to, but don't
Yeah.
ignoring is the worst thing.
Worst thing. I've experienced that with him.
Yeah.
You know how I describe the ignoring. He the entire Acharya training he has ignored me. It is the worst feeling on this.
That is why he
eh,
does that.
Yeah, that's why. No, but
So
he's
that
taking away a lot of things with it though. He's taking
exactly.
away pride, ego, uh,
Exactly.
a feeling of self-importance. There's so much he's taking away with that. But when he does that, I do
It
not
feels
wish this on
very
worst of my enemies.
yeah.
Not that I have any enemies, but I don't wish this on anybody because it's the worst feeling. Okay, coming back to some of your more experiences with okay, let's talk about the Empowered Five. I know you were in the Empowered Five with Mohanji as well. We have 10 more minutes, so let's get to that. The Empowered Five series with Mohanji as well in Serbia. You were there, I was there, both of us were there. But you had a bit of a experience as well. It was a little bit of a different experience for you. So do you want to share it? So up to you if you're comfortable sharing that experience.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So in Empowered, yeah, actually, I was there. I was attending Empowered, but till the last moment, I didn't know that our mobile phones would be taken away for 5 days. I was thinking that daily evening I would get it back. So I was prepared like that. So that expectation was blasted towards the end that my mobile would be gone for 5 days. I'm not used to that. Okay, so that was the first thing. And there my expectation was broken. So then first day I mostly slept. Second day, third day, and fourth day were like the toughest days of my life mentally because so many things were coming out and I didn't know what to do with them. I there were moments when I was almost losing hope that I'll never get rid of these things because and I was thinking that I'm abnormal or I've gone mad because there were so many things and that too all from recent, not very old. I knew what happened in the recent. All those things were just erupting and they were not leaving me. So Monji, when I thought that I'm abnormal, I'm mad, and I'm not going to get out of this. Next day in the satsang, Mohanji said that, that you're not abnormal. Then that gave me some peace. Okay. So whenever Mohanji came for satsang, I would be okay, peaceful. And then when he would go, the things would start erupting and I don't know how to handle that. But on the fifth day, during the last half an hour, what happened, I was not hopeful of, because others, people didn't share experiences at that time, but I thought everyone would be better, nobody would experience what I'm experiencing. I experience only garbage, nothing else. Nothing else comes out of me. So then during that last half an hour, I was just sitting without any hope, without any expectation. And what I observed was some distance started appearing, some distance started appearing between me and my emotions. So it was like emotions were happening, all that garbage was happening, was coming out, but at a distance. Like I was able to see it. Means I was not there, I was not involved in it, but I was able to see it. And that was a huge deal for me. So the before I was thinking that I will never get out of this, and now I'm able to detach from this. And that was the best thing that I could take away from those 5 days, that last half an hour. And I wanted to stay in that for a long time, but then it ended. And the next time when I spoke to Mohanji about it, I spoke to him in Mumbai when I met him after that. So he said that next time I'm going to do this for 10 days because for the first 5 days it's only cleansing happening, and then actually you'll start experiencing. And that was a huge deal, and that carried on because after Empowered also so many things were coming out. But again, it's not like I never reacted to things. I have reacted, and those are the mistakes that I made. But at the same time, this clarity and this detachment also comes with it, that okay, this has happened, let it go. So you see yourself from a distance. So all the things will come and go, but let it come and let it go.
Yeah.
Mohanji is there.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, I always ask these questions to everybody that I interview. This is how I usually conclude with them. Give me an experience of Mohanji that completely blew your mind. You said like it's almost gives you the feeling, wow, did this actually happen? Any experience like which completely like really, really you couldn't believe that this happened.
Yeah, okay. There have been so many. And that also while living with Mohanji
Yeah.
in Bangalore ashram. And not only that, away from him also I've had experiences. So yeah, one experience that I remember from the ashram when I was there for the first time. So he showed me Kailash Parvat in ashram. And I'm not sure if I told you about this.
No, you not told me this.
Okay. So one day a barber came to ashram for Mohanji. So Mohanji told me to get my head shaved. So like always, I don't ask him questions. He told me to get my head shaved, and I got it shaved. And then after some time at breakfast table, he called me, and his mother was also sitting with him, and he told me to take rounds like this, circles on spot, 3 circles. So I
Around
took 3 circles.
around whom?
Yeah, not around anything, just
Three.
rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go around like this,
Yeah.
not around anything, just rotate. Okay. And I did that. And he was looking at my head and showing that my mother, see this guy, I got his head shaved, and they both were laughing. And so he made me complete 3 rounds. And then he asked me, you know what happens in Kailash? I said, no, you have never taken me to Kailash. He said, in Kailash, time runs faster. So your hair and your nails grow faster in Kailash. So I said, how would I know? You have to take me there to show me these things. And then he said, same thing will happen to you here. Okay. The same thing he will happen to you here. He got my head shaved, and then he was telling me that hair and nails grow faster in Kailash. And then he
Yeah,
said, this same thing will happen to you here. So usually I don't see mirror because I don't keep my hair, and there's no
yeah,
point in seeing mirror all the time. So, but after 2 weeks, it was Shivratri Homa, and I attended that. And when I saw the pictures of Shivratri Homa, I found that my hair had actually grown abnormally. It was abnormal growth. It was not normal. They had grown so much in a matter of 2 weeks that it was impossible in a normal environment. And that is when I remembered that, okay, Mohanji has said that, you'll
in
get that.
Kailash. Yeah,
You get that in Kailash, and same thing will happen to you here. So same thing is actually happening to me here. My Kailash is being done. So those 3 rounds that I took was
yeah,
actually parikrama. Was
yeah.
actually parikrama of
It
Kailash.
was Parikrama of Kailash. Yeah,
Yeah. So then I had heard people, but I means I was feeling peaceful and blissful after Shivratri Homa, but I had heard people saying that things break after Kailash Yatra. A lot of things change and a lot of internal things break. And so that also happened when I left ashram. I left and I went back, and so many things started breaking. So many things started breaking, and there was time I could not handle it, and I had to get my MTM done. But at that time, I knew that my Kailash Yatra was done, and it was done in Mohanji's ashram. So, and after that, I should not say that I encourage people to go to pilgrimages, but my desire to go to any pilgrimage dropped.
also. Yeah,
Dropped, and my main pilgrimage became Mohanji's feet.
yes.
So my first desire would be to go to Mohanji Center wherever I go. Even when I went to Serbia for Empowered, I was in Belgrade for a few days, and I was looking for a Mohanji Center. And luckily, I was called there. So, and I was the only one called there to live. And they invited me. So that is my desire. Main desire is to be with Mohanji. Okay, even if I don't get to go to any pilgrimage, that is fine, totally fine with me. But all my pilgrimages are at his feet. So that is when, with that Kailash experience, I realized that. And he himself also has said that many times. Once there are other people also from outside in the ashram. So they were planning to visit different places in India, take dips in Ganga and go to different masters, Samadhi, and, to different places. And he told them clearly that if you don't get anything from me, you
You
don't
won't
get it
get anything from
you
there.
don't get any, yeah, anywhere. So it's not possible that you're not getting something from me and you get it somewhere else. It's not possible. And then at the same time, he was asking me to go with them because they had decided to go to other places. He was asking, I said, "Nah, I don't want to leave here. I'm happy here. Let them go. But if he orders, then I have to go. But then again, it's his wish. If I go
Yeah,
somewhere, it's his wish. Otherwise, I would be
yeah.
with him only.
You didn't tell me about the Kailash experience. It's still in my mind. It is mind blowing. What an amazing experience, Aditya. Like, and it's such a perfect way to even conclude our conversation. It's still in my mind. It is going to stay in my mind for a few more days. So that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think I want to respect your time. We are almost reaching 1 hour. So I also just want to say thank you so much for this interview. I know it took us some time to get to this call, but I wanted to do it ever since you've been, because we speak, so you share your experiences, and I'm always after a call with you, I'm like, oh my God, what an amazing experience. And I wanted all these experiences to come to the people, because in the future there are going to be so many people who are not going to get this opportunity to know about Mohanji, or to like know about him, in the sense that they won't be able to spend that time with Mohanji, because he's becoming more popular, more people are reaching him, so there is less and less time people have with Mohanji. So that is why I really wanted you to share so that it reaches more and more people. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, I hope it was. Okay, I'm going to conclude it. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. I hope you all enjoyed the experiences shared with Aditya, especially the last one. It completely blew my mind, but I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I will bring more and more interviews with fellow volunteers of Mohanji family who have had the opportunity to spend time with Mohanji or been with Mohanji for a very long time. So thank you for joining on this journey with me, and I will see all of you soon. Jai Mohanji.